Hello viewers, you are all welcome to this special edition of the Mandela Washington Fellowship application process. So this video we're going to be talking about what is the Mandela Washington Fellowship all about, what are the opportunities you're going to gain after attending this fellowship, what are the eligibility criteria to be part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and we're going to talk about the various tracks and how to write a captivating essay. And if this is the first time you're hearing about the Mandela Washington Fellowship, it is for young African leaders doing great and amazing works in their communities. So if you're that leader, then this program is definitely for you. Don't miss out. Grab your book, grab your pen, and be ready to jot down notes. Let's dive right in. So if you're that kind of leader who believes that they must listen only from you and you don't listen to other people, then I bet you this program is not for you and you will not be selected. Now, we need someone who has a strong social background, who has good communication skills, because like we said, you're going to meet with other young leaders out there, you're going to meet with top government officials, and you should have a good communication skills and sociable skills. You should be energetic. It is all written there. Just go and read on the portal and you're going to see all these things. You should be energetic, someone who has the energy. We need those who give the energy and bring change in the community. So those are the eligibility, those are the criteria, or those are the things they are looking for when they are selecting these leaders. Now we're going to go to, there are now 3 main tracks. This is where many people get confused in order to know they are doing a lot of things. Many people are doing a lot of things and you don't know exactly which track to choose. Now there are 3 main tracks. That's the leadership in business, leadership in civic engagement, and leadership in public management. Now in business, it means you're doing something with regards that's a profit-making company. That's what is meant by business. With civic engagement, we have maybe like running an NGO, volunteering in an NGO, or doing other mentorship programs just to promote the health or just to promote your community in one way or the other. That's what we call leadership in civic engagement. That's what the population can stand up and do. What rights are you fighting for in order to promote your community in one way or the other? Now, in leadership in public management, that means you're in a leadership position in your government. That's you're working in the government and you have a leadership position. Maybe you're the head of you're the head of a particular program. For example, you're coordinating something. You're the district, for example, in medicine, you're the district medical officer, you're the chief of center. These are some kind of government positions, because they believe that if you're in this position, you can easily change policy, you can bring about the change right from the top, because we know the government is always the overall boss, and that is where changes have to be made. So if you're in that position, therefore you're going in for public management. Now, in order to choose which one, it depends now on your story, what you are really passionate about, and where you are really passionate about. That is where you write your story. For example, I work in the government, but what I do is under civic engagement, because I own an organization. I founded an organization and I'm doing more of community engagement activities. So when I was applying, I actually applied for civic engagement. Now, I know everybody is anxious to hear how to write the essays, how to have that attractive or that compelling story. How do you write it? How do you bring yourself out there? This is where we are going to. The tips on essay writing. This is the catch. Remember that there are over thousands of people writing this, and in Cameroon we have over 7,000 or to 10,000 people applying for this. And for the written, that's for your first application, they need to actually get 100 of these people. So will you be that 100? And remember, these scripts are shared or distributed to different readers. So they have to, you can have like 100 scripts and you just have to choose one from that 100 scripts. How do you make that choice? It is from this essay. Once your essay just starts as though you don't know what you're doing, your script is sent to one side. And just for you to know the application process, there's the application process which usually runs from August to September. Then the first phase, those who are shortlisted for the interview, they are being called up in around December to January, early January, and then during maybe at the end of January, there's the interview. And the final results comes out in March, and the fellowship starts in June. That's how the program goes. And in Cameroon, out of these 100 people who will be shortlisted for the interview, we need just 18. Last year, they took 18. So we need just 18 people out of the 100 people shortlisted. So are you, first of all, part of this 100? It is this essay that will guide you. Just a general tip first on the essay. The first tip is know your story. Say a story. Who are you? What are you fighting for? What do you stand for? That is what this is all about, because all the questions that will come forth is just about that, your story. What is your story? If they say this is Dr. Noella, what is Dr. Noella known for? That is what you are writing in your essays. Now, the second is, like I always say, from the beginning, always introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. So once they ask you any question, you tell them, I am this. So you need to tell them who you are. It's like you have to frighten people. Know that this thing, people are coming from different backgrounds. You can see yourself, you know that I am there, but there are other people who are more than you. So showcase yourself very well. It's very important. Know your leadership qualities. I'm going to tell you how to get into that. You can just go online and say leadership skills or leadership qualities or qualities of a good leader. Just go and type on Google. Go and type and see the various aspects and see what type of leader are you. Is very important when you'll be answering each essay. Always use the STAR approach. The STAR approach means that's the situation, the task, the action, and the results. These are very important, especially when they ask you to give examples of any problem you've had. We're going to get into the essays. So always remember to use the STAR approach. And no copy work. Yes, no copy work. Please be original. If you copy any work, they are going to catch you. There's a way that they can check for plagiarism. So please, and I don't think as a leader who is going in for this type of opportunity, I don't think you should be doing that, copying someone's essay. Please, your story is your story. So please try to be original. And do not fake a story, please. Do not fake a story, because they will catch you, especially when you go for the interview. They want to know the passion you have when you get for the interview. It's very important. Those are the 6 main tips for a general essay writing. Now we'll dive into the various essays for the 2025 Mandela Washington Fellowship. Okay, so for the first essay for this year, it says, what motivates you to work in the field that you do? And what specific goals do you hope to achieve within that field? Provide an overview of your major professional accomplishments from the past year, including specific examples of how these accomplishments have brought you closer to realizing these goals. So when you see these kind of questions, you don't just dive into the question. You need to actually separate the questions and find out what they are asking you, such that you make sure you answer all the questions that have been asked in that particular essay. Like I said from the beginning, introduce yourself. They have asked you what motivates you to work in the field that you do. You not just want to start, what motivated me is this. No, you say, I am this, I am a social entrepreneur, this, who stands for this. You understand? For example, if I'm using myself, I'm a medical doctor with over 6 years of experience and the founder of Top Pregnancy with Dr. Noella, an organization with aim to ensure that women have equal and early access to health services during pregnancy. Full stop. Then I can get in that what motivates me is that my passion stems from the fact that from my personal history where I almost had. So you said this is where your story comes in. What prompted you to do what you are doing? Always look for that story. There is a story somewhere. So try to look for that story to actually match up with what you are doing and what you want to apply for. Once you do that, you said, okay, you say through this program or through these volunteering activities, I've been able to volunteer and reach out to this number of people. For example, like myself, through our program, we have been able to reach out to over thousands of women, like over 5,000 women, and using my excellent communication skills as with a YouTube channel, we have reached out to over 35,000 subscribers, and through this we have had women who have come and consulted us and we have provided them with healthcare. Also, we have gone into the community and we have assisted pregnant women who were not able to follow up their pregnancies till delivery, and they have had excellent outcome. So you see that you bring out the problem, you bring out what you are passionate about, what you have done with the impact. It's not just about following up, for example, the pregnant women. No, we have followed them up, and at the end, those who had complications were identified early. That is our aim, and they had successful outcomes. That is the impact we are creating in the community. So if you're doing business, there are people who are doing business, and for example, there's what we call social entrepreneur, where you actually start up, like I can just give an example of someone who started a school to help internally displaced people. So once they do this actually a business, but his aim was the fact that these internally displaced people cannot maybe afford some certain kind of, cannot afford going to school, and they turn out to be rebels and maybe join the group to be rebels and start attacking or become thieves. So for him to actually ensure that these thieves are reduced in the community, he set up a school for them and made the price or the fees at a lower level, and even made in a way that people who cannot afford, they can pay in a very considerate installment. That was his plan for the school. That is how he is impacting the community. So it's not just about starting up a school or starting up a business. No, your business, what is it doing and what is the impact it's creating in the community? Please remember that you can be doing any kind of business. There are people who do maybe who train, for example, even these beauty people who maybe you can be doing hair, you can be doing nails, and you decide that, okay, today I'm going to train. There are girls in my environment, in my community, who are not doing anything. They are complaining that there is no work. You say, no, let me see how I can train these girls and make them and empower them. That's, you are fighting unemployment. That is how you do, and you put in your AC. So we should see the impact. We should see where you come from and where you are going to. Now they're asking, what are your specific goals and how do you hope to achieve them? Your goals are, your specific goals are almost now like your short-term and long-term plans. So you say in a long term or in a short term, I plan to do this. I plan to maybe set up a bigger studio, for example, and maybe empower more people. And with this, the Mandela Washington Fellowship is going to provide me with this opportunity to be able to scale up what I'm doing. So you see how you are bringing them into play. It's always, one of my mentors always say, imagine if someone wants to help you and maybe the person say, I'm going to give you free scholarship. What are you going to do with that scholarship? You then say everything that you're going to do, and you don't even give one thing that they are even included in it. For example, you cannot say, I'm going to go to maybe like come back here, I'm going to expand my business, I'm going to reach out to anybody. You will not even say something like, okay, I'm going to even partner with some US organizations that are going to work, we're going to work together and create more impact. You're not even going to say how you work with other young fellows who have been through the mandate. So you see that you have to also put them in your plans. You don't have to just do your plans now alone as if you're isolated. No, always try to include them in your plans. And one of another criteria, they said, be ready to come back to your country. So always when you're talking in your long-term plans, when I return from the US, so you're already telling them that you're going to return. So it's just a way for you. Those are some tactics that you can play with to tell them you're coming back. So that is it with the AC. It's very important. There are various structures, so you must not start with what motivated me is this, my specific goals before. So you can even just start by introducing yourself. You give what you motivated you, and maybe you can give now a highlight of what your program has done, the impact you have been doing, and then your long-term goals. So it's very important. That's for the first essay. Now when you go to the second essay, you see it's telling you about the preferred track which you chose, and it's very important. This is where they have to catch you to see whether your track actually matches with what you were saying. And it's important that at the beginning state the track. You don't want maybe the readers to start thinking, hey, which track is this? No, state your track clearly. Like my preferred track is leadership in civic engagement, for example. Then you can say one or two things what you are doing in that track, and actually say what the impact you've been creating. And remember, use your leadership skills in this place. For example, if you're saying like you use a YouTube channel, what is the leadership skills you're using there? Is it about excellent communication skills? You say it there, and with your excellent communication skills you did this, and with your great networking skills maybe you did this and this, you collaborated with these other people and you had a better impact. It's very important. Here they also said it is good to, when you put your leadership qualities, it makes you stand out. Because for example, the first part, if you say you had this kind of situation, you were an IDP, and because of your empathetic leadership quality in you, that's what made you to start up this school to help other IDPs. So that is empathy as a leader. So try to put anything you're bringing in, try to put the leadership quality skills you used at that time. It's very important. Yeah, the third essay now is about what Nelson Mandela actually said, that it is in your hands to make a better world for all who live in it. So what is the need in your community? This is where you need to talk about what you stand for, what you fight for. It's important to go through maybe just a trick. You can go through the various SDGs. You can be doing a lot of work, but you don't know where to situate it. You go through the various, that's the sustainable development goal, and you actually see where you're working on. Which part are you focused on? And you go and check there and you see exactly what you are doing. For example, I'm ensuring health for all, that's the SDG 3, and under the I'm fighting maternal mortality, maternal and neonatal mortality. So go under each and tell us exactly what you are fighting for, what do you stand for, who do they know you for, and say specifically the need of your organization. Is it that you don't want ITPs, you don't want people to get into arms and start fighting or become armed robbers? So what are you doing? You are trying to promote education, quality education for all. So you are bringing a school which is, for example, very cheaper, and they have all the qualities, and maybe what you're giving there is a school that once they are out, they are already employed by themselves, because it's like, for example, a school, a vocational training school, where by the time you're leaving, you're already an expert in what you're doing. So you find a need in your community. And for the next essay, which talks about inclusion, how you deal with a diverse groups of people, it's very important to say, maybe like to give an example using the STAR approach, where you actually valued inclusion, where you practice inclusion. Always start with the situation, what happened, and also the tasks, like what did you do before you were able to solve it, and the action taken. It's very important. Include the leadership skills that you use there. And finally, the result. Did your organization or your company get more workers because of that person's own addition, the person made through the company or the organization? So it's very, very important to use the STAR approach. Now with the last essay, which talks about conflict, how you manage setbacks. Have you had any setbacks? I know everybody has challenges. The COVID-19 came with challenges. For example, people living in the Northwest and the Southwest are faced with the socio-political conflict. How has that affected your business, your organization, you volunteering? Have you been able to go into suburbs? Have you been able to, what different thing have you done? As a resilient leader, what have you done? So you need to put, is it about your communication skills? Is it about training others, empowering others to reach those highly affected areas? So it's very important that you still use the STAR approach. That's why that we say with an example. So bring out a situation where you had a problem and say what you did and the actions taken exactly to solve that problem, and the outcome at the end. That's the result. Is very important. Now that's the tips about the essays. So if you go through all the essays, include their leadership qualities, remember the STAR approach. And now when it goes to the other part, what they call the PDE, the professional development experience, there you are actually put in a company or an organization where you actually learn first-hand experience on how an organization runs, or how a company runs, or how whatever thing you're doing, how it runs. So as a professional development experience, this one is usually given to few people, like 4 to 5 people per country, depending on the number of intakes. So you can apply for it if you want to do that, or you might not apply for it, but it doesn't affect your results if you want to apply for it or not. So I hope these tips were very helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to this page and get more information about scholarship applications, fellowship applications. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you. Bye.